we're back. So far we've prepped our skin with a tinted moisturizer and concealer. We've done some highlighting and contouring. And the next thing I'm gonna do is my eyes. Now, I used to always do my shadows first, and lately I've started doing my eyebrows first, and I'm gonna show you why. I think that this just gives a super clean look with a little bit of definition in a way that I like my eyebrows. Like, even on days where it's obviously been a while since I have gotten them done. I just got them done yesterday, so they're not bad, but my eyebrows are really light, and so I like to fill them in a little bit, and again, draws focus to the face, and then the technique that I use, I find just makes them always look freshly waxed. So I like to use the Garnet ShadowSense. I find that it's really easy to blend. I like when things have multiple purposes, so I'm also gonna use this as part of my shadow look. I like when you can kind of get more bang for your buck with something that you can use multiple ways. And then the brush that I use is just a stiff angled brush with what do you call this? It's kind of like a mascara brush on the end to blend it out. So to start with, I just take my Garnet and put a little bit on the brush, and I like to first kind of draw where I'm going with them. So you're gonna see, I'm gonna kind of outline them. Don't worry, they're not gonna stay this way. And then fill in the edges here. And then I just go in and kind of blend. I like that this gives me an opportunity to kind of play with it, blend it, decide what look I want. Do I want to go a little bit bolder brow today or a little bit less? Do I want to kind of fade it out? You get some time with the ShadowSense, which is nice. And then I just go in and kind of brush it because I like a more natural toned down look. Some people do really well with a bolder brow. For me, I'm just not used to that on myself, so I tend to go a little bit of a softer brow. We'll do the other one. Now, I will be honest, this is always the harder one for me to do because it's across my body from my dominant hand. So here we go. Again, draw it in. I feel like half of my doing my brows is trying to like get them to be the same shape afterwards. Because it's hard. I mean, look, it's not always easy, and we're not perfectly symmetrical, so this kind of can allow you to create some symmetry where it doesn't maybe naturally exist. Which is really what makeup is doing, right? I'm not gonna leave it like that. We're gonna brush it out. Now you can see for me, my skin gets a little bit red when I do this. Again, I told you everything makes my skin red. So, and it can kind of blur a little bit. It doesn't look quite as defined as I want it to look. So that's where the next thing I do plays an important role. What I do is I take this brush and some concealer and I go in around them to kind of clean it up a little bit. It does not take much to do this. I'm just tapping a little bit off there, and then I'm gonna go, set that down, go under my brow, up here, oops, I went a little further in there than I wanted to, but you can also always clean up with some of the ShadowSense afterwards. And I'm just creating cleaner edges, and then blur that out so that you don't have like a concealer line. Now here I went a little bit more onto my brow than I wanted to, so I'm just gonna come back in with the brush that I was using and correct my correction, if that makes sense. All right, and then clean it up again on the side. So you can see the difference between the two, how much cleaner this one looks because I've gone in with the concealer. I don't know why I haven't been doing this forever. I had seen other people do it and I was like, I feel like mine are fine. And then I did it and somebody commented on it that my brow, like she was like, something about your makeup looks so different today. And I was like, what did I do differently? And this was the only thing I had done differently. Like I had worn the same look all week because I was in a rut and I was doing my makeup in my desk at work. And she was like, it totally changes how your makeup looks. Like your eyebrows just look so different. And then I was like, well, now I have to do this every day because this is someone who doesn't even really wear makeup who noticed it. So now I do it all the time, which is why I do my brows before I do the rest of my eye now, so that I can really conceal and not have to worry that I'm messing up my eye makeup. Now, it looks like maybe I need to clean up just a little bit under this one to make them even. They're never gonna be perfectly symmetrical. I'm starting to resign myself to that. It's just a function of like how nature works, but I know this eyebrow is just slightly less arched than the other one, so I'm just gonna go in and fill that in. Woo, table's rocking. So I felt pretty good about how that looks. The concealer, total game changer. So then what I like to do is to come in with the natural powder, and in the tube that it comes in, see how this slides down, you can get a fluffier brush, or this slides up and it's a little bit more of a stippling brush. I like to kind of go in over this, and I like how it just kind of, it doesn't dull it, but it does make it look just a little bit more natural, mattifies everything. Boom, those are my brows. Okay, so then the next thing I'm gonna do is my eye color. What I've decided to do for this is to, I want like a garnet color out here, but I don't want super bold in the middle, so I wanna draw the attention kind of out here. You wanna make sure that you stay between this area. If you go down lower than that, between the area between the corner of your eye and your eyebrow, your eyes are gonna look droopy. Nobody wants droopy looking eyes. So I like to start with putting a base on that covers the whole eye, and that kind of gives me something to build on. I like to do that with the color I'm gonna highlight with. In this case, it's Sandstone Pearl Shimmer. Sometimes I go in with a matte and do it, but I'm going for a shimmerier look today. So I'm just gonna put some of that on, and then go in with a fluffy brush. This is the brush that I like to use, and just kind of blend that all in. And I try to make sure I kind of get here into the corner too, where the tear duct is, because that kind of opens up the eyes a little bit. There we go. And then the other side. Again, getting in there into the corner, and then making sure you get under the brows, because highlighting under the brows also just kind of opens up your eyes. Now, I want to start by telling you that I have a hooded eye. See how you can't see my crease at all when my eyes are open? So those looks where they just go in your crease do nothing for me, because I open my eyes and they look just like this. So I have watched enough tutorials to kind of figure out how to open that up a little bit more. Did I put my garnet back in the bag? I did, so we're gonna grab that out. The way that I do that is by going a little bit above the crease with the color, and then I also go a little bit out here. Oops, that's not the right color. You grab the garnet. Oh, I did put it right back where it belongs. Okay, so here's how I do it. I take the brush, I don't want a ton on. You can build with the color. The nice thing about these is if you put it on and let it dry a little bit and then go back in, you're gonna be able to build the color. Think about painting a wall. You don't wanna put too much color on over while it's wet, because it just starts to take it back off. So same way with your Lip Sense and ShadowSense. So I just dab some on there. And then this brush is an angled brush. It's a little bit stiffer than that fluffier brush I just used, and that's good for tapping. And that's how I like to apply my eye color. So I just kind of go in a little bit of a V, blend a little bit above the crease there, and then over here. And then again, with the finger, you can really just kind of blend if there's any like harsh lines, or you get a little outside of where you want to go. Already, see how that's what I mean by adding just a little bit of drama, just a little bit of glam. It kind of takes it to a whole other place. I love garnet for that. Maybe we should call it everyday glam. Alrighty, let's do the other eye, same way. Tap it on, and then go in and blend it. One thing I have kind of learned as I've been doing this is that the second time you've also got some color on your brush, so you don't have to put quite as much on the eye all the time. It just kind of depends, but you can always go add more later. Like I definitely didn't put quite enough on that time. There we go. Does not take much, which is why I've been using this for months and I still have a ton left. So again, we're just kind of like a little bit here on the lash line, up in the corner, and then across above the crease. There are lots and lots of graphics, and there are some in the group about how you can get different eye looks depending on the shape of your eye. So this works for me because it's a hooded eye. I actually think it works for most eye shapes, but this is the look that I've kind of developed over time based on what I've read and then also what I like on myself. And really, that's the ultimate goal, right? To like how your makeup looks on yourself. All right, so we've got the garnet on. I love garnet. I think it's such a great color. And then I'm gonna go in with some Mocha Java Shimmer. And this is gonna be what they call the transitional color. It's gonna kind of blend the lighter color we did into the darker color we did. It's a nice in between. And so I just put a little bit on here. And then go in with a fluffy brush again and kind of blend that all together. Blend, blend, blend. See how they kind of transition into each other now? It creates more of an ombre effect. And then you can always build and add more. I like the shimmer of this Mocha Java Shimmer. It gives a nice made up but not too made up look. And then we'll go ahead and do the other eye. You can tell this is a color I use a lot because there's not a ton on the wand when it comes out. But it blends so nicely. All of these do. This cream to powder is a game changer. And it doesn't fall all over your face like other shadows do, which was a problem I had a lot before I started using ShadowSense. All right, so that's our kind of in-between color. I also want to go in with a little bit of Snow to kind of highlight right here. Snow is a very light color and is a good highlighter. It's totally white. I find it does not take much, so just be aware, it does not take much Snow to do a little bit of highlighting. So just go right in here. I find I have more control with a thinner brush when I do this, and then I like to blend it with my fingers. A little bit more. And I only do the corner for this. I saw something that said that was how you should do it for hooded eyes, and I like how it looks, so that's how I do it. All right, so that's our Snow. Now I do want to go back and just make the garnet a little bit garnetier in the corners here. So we touch up, because we've done a lot of blending. Blend them in the corners. Okay, another technique that I have learned that I really like is something called a halo eye. I'm gonna do a light version of this, but it's basically just adding a little bit of shimmer here in the middle to make your eyes look a little halo-y. So I'm gonna go back in with the Sandstone Pearl Shimmer that we used at the beginning and just add a little bit down here and blend that in. It gives some nice shimmer, a little bit of depth and definition. This is another one of the oval brushes, except it's a circle, so I guess it's not an oval brush, but that same collection. There we go. All right, and then the other thing I really like to do is add a little bit of highlight under the eyes, which again, just kind of opens things up. And in this case, I am going to use this brush to do it kind of in a soft way, but I just take a little bit of the Sandstone Pearl Shimmer and kind of go from the tear duct to my lash line. And it just adds a touch of brightness. Again, you can build this to make it more of a highlight or less of a highlight depending on how you want your look to go. I'm gonna use a little bit more today because we're going slightly glam. And then a little along the lash line there. Can you see it? It's good, right? Okay, then the last thing that I'm gonna do is I wanna take some garnet and just kind of go a little bit under here and smudge it a bit to make just a little bit blend the look down. Again, not a ton. I'm gonna use this flat kind of toothbrush looking thing. I don't want it to look like a liner. I just want to kind of tie the color together. So under my lash line here. And then to blend it, I'm just gonna kind of go along the top here too to blend it together, and then just use my finger to kind of make it all go together. And then on the other side, you can also use a liner brush for this. I like that this puts it on looking smudged, so I'm not putting it on and then smudging it. Again, I also like the motion that you use with these brushes. And then just blend those together again. All right, so just one more step at this point. I'm gonna go with some mascara. So I have been using our Lash Extend, and so I'm just gonna use our regular ShadowSense mascara instead of also using some Undersense because my lashes have gotten a lot longer. So start on the bottom and just using this to put it on. And this is also buildable, which I like. I like things that are buildable. So you kind of have control over, do you want a little color or a lot of color? It's totally up to you. You can always just use, if you're like me and you always get it everywhere, a Q-tip to kind of clean it up. It's like a lifelong struggle. I always get mascara everywhere. And you're just gonna do the top lashes and make sure you just kind of start at the base and then wiggle up. And that'll help separate and fill. And again on the other side. So you can see that because I've been using the Lash Extend, like I'm getting the same look I used to get when I was using Undersense. So now I use Undersense when I want to go a little more dramatic, which sometimes you do, but we're doing a little bit of a low-key glam today, so I'm not going to go quite as dramatic. And then just clean up wherever you need to. Got a little in the corner of my eye there. All right, so now we've done the eyes. The last one is gonna be the lip look. Come back and see how I custom mix colors to get the look that I want.